Holistic Earth. Pythagoras of Samos, an ancient Ionian Greek philosopher, polymath, and the eponymous founder of Pythagoreanism, lived around 570 to 495 BC. While knowledge of his life is obscured by legend, his political and religious teachings were influential in Magna Graecia and left a lasting impact on philosophers like Plato and Aristotle. Around 530 BC, Pythagoras traveled to Croton in southern Italy, where he established a school known for its secretive initiations and communal, ascetic lifestyle. The school followed dietary prohibitions, including aspects of vegetarianism. Metempsychosis, the transmigration of souls, was a central teaching, suggesting that every soul is immortal and undergoes rebirth. The doctrine of musica universalis proposed that planets move according to mathematical equations, producing an inaudible symphony. Pythagoras influenced various areas, including mathematics, astronomy, and music. He is credited with the Pythagorean theorem, Pythagorean tuning, the five regular solids, the theory of proportions, and identifying the morning and evening stars as Venus. However, the extent of his direct contributions to these fields is debated among scholars. Philosophically, Pythagoras emphasized numerology, believing that all things were made of numbers. The tetractys, a triangular figure of 10 dots representing the perfect number 10, was a sacred symbol in Pythagoreanism. Scholars dispute whether Pythagoras developed these teachings or if they were later innovations by his followers, particularly Philolaus of Croton. Pythagoreanism extended beyond philosophy to a communal lifestyle. Pythagoras founded a school resembling a monastery, where members shared possessions, took vows of silence, and followed religious and ascetic practices. Two factions, the mathematikoi and acousmatikoi, existed within the Pythagorean community, with differing approaches to mysticism and rationalism. Pythagoreanism had a significant influence on Plato, whose dialogues, especially Timaeus, reflected Pythagorean teachings. The ideas persisted through Middle Platonism and Neo-Pythagoreanism in the 1st century BC. Pythagorean symbolism endured in early modern European esotericism, and his philosophy impacted scientists like Copernicus, Kepler, and Newton. Despite Pythagoras's historical contributions, his life is entwined with legends. Tales of his ability to recall past lives, his practice of divination and prophecy, and mystical practices like smoke trapping contribute to the mythical aura surrounding him. The legendary Pythagorean theorem story involving a sacrificial ox is debated, with scholars questioning its authenticity. The most recognized Pythagorean teaching was metempsychosis, the belief in the immortality of the soul and its transmigration into a new body after death. Pythagoras may have also developed the doctrine of musica universalis, proposing that planets moved according to mathematical equations, creating an inaudible symphony. While Pythagoras is credited with various mathematical and scientific discoveries, such as the Pythagorean theorem, scholars debate his direct contributions. His influence extended to Plato, whose dialogues exhibited Pythagorean teachings, and Pythagorean ideas impacted Greek art. Pythagoreanism involved a unique way of life, resembling a monastic community. Initiates took vows of silence and adhered to shared possessions. Two factions existed, the mathematikoi, focusing on rational and scientific pursuits, and the acousmatikoi, emphasizing mysticism and religious teachings. Pythagoras introduced numerology, believing that all things were made of numbers. The tetractys, a triangular figure of 4 rows, held mystical importance. The Pythagoreans revered specific numbers, associating them with divine and symbolic meanings. The Pythagoreans followed prohibitions and regulations, including a vow of silence, expulsion for disobedience, and adherence to dietary restrictions. Pythagorean teachings were kept secret, and oral sayings emphasized ritual purity. Legend surrounded Pythagoras, portraying him as a wonder-worker with a golden thigh and mystical abilities. He was credited with discoveries in mathematics, music, astronomy, and medicine. However, the extent of Pythagoras's direct contributions remains debated among scholars. Pythagoreanism's influence persisted through the ages, impacting later philosophers like Plato and Aristotle. The Pythagorean way of life, including communal living and numerical symbolism, left a lasting imprint on Western thought, influencing art, science, and philosophy.